Hi folks, Trace here. We are en route from our FBO at Natal, Sierra Bravo November Tango on the very elbow of South America. We're going south in the TBM 850. It was holed up at Belém for, I don't know, a week or so. This is part of a winter southern South America exploration. And winter for us in the Northern Hemisphere, of course, is summer for them. So it is November 2018 right now, which means November to us in North America, but it means the equivalent of May to Argentina and Chile and southern South America, certainly. Brazil somewhat, but the equator goes right through north central Brazil, and they don't have a summer or a winter. It's always wonderful there, or it's always hot and humid and sticky, or it's always something there. Anyway, we are en route. It was a relatively normal takeoff from Natal. We're at 28,500 feet. That would be VFR on a westerly heading. And we're going down to Rio, to Santos Dumont, which is the original Rio de Janeiro airport, which was eclipsed in size later by Galileo, it's SVGL, which is now their main airport, which is a good-sized airport. Santos Dumont is like their executive airport. It's right downtown. It's right on the harbor. And it's named for a true aviation pioneer, a Brazilian named Santos Dumont. I'm not exactly sure what all he did, as we switch fuel tanks here. He had something to do with hot air balloons, but also with fixed wing, back in the early 19th or early 20th century. And he is definitely considered one of the great pioneers of aviation. So that airport was named after him. It's a very nice airport with two parallel runways, running 220, I believe, and a tower. And that's where we're going. We're at 8X right now. The timer said, ETE says we have 2 hours and 53 minutes. So you're actually going to be enduring this for 1/8 of that. Actually a little more, because we will slow down as we get close, of course. But I hadn't even thought about videoing this flight until it was en route. And then I thought, well, wouldn't that be a refreshing break for everybody? Did I have to sit through an endless, multi-hour ordeal with another Trace video? So now it's a short ordeal. And hopefully it won't be too torturous for you. And of course we're in the beautiful TBM, which has become one of my favorite airplanes. And probably my three favorite airplanes are this, the Premier, and the Falcon 7X, all of which are identifiable, first of all, as having outstanding performance characteristics, and also at being a pain in the ass to fly. This thing it's actually, once you get used to it, it's like the other two. Once you get used to it, it's okay. But it's demanding, and you better be paying attention. You better be thinking ahead of it. It's nothing. You hit one wrong button, and this sucker will flip right over on its back and just go right in the drink, as will the Falcon and the Premier. But this is a 300-mile-an-hour airplane, and that's not bad for a single turboprop. Right now, we're just loping along here. How's the wind? The wind's at 300 at 33, not very strong. It's off to the right side. And we're getting a ground speed right now of 286 knots. Not too shabby. What's the burn? We're burning 46 an hour. That's about right. That's about typical. Mid to upper 40s an hour for this thing at cruise. So but we were bouncing all over the place. But we're at 8x, which won't be the case for too much longer. What a pretty airplane. I've just always liked it. I'll give you a quick rehash of the original TBM story that I told in an earlier TBM video. What got me interested in the TBM was a real world incident many years ago. A guy who was a young attorney, successful young fellow, a pilot out of New Jersey, I believe, took it and some people out of some New Jersey airport, maybe Essex County, maybe Teterboro, maybe even Newark, I don't know. But anyway, this was like, they said this was one of the iciest, snowiest days in the history of flight. Airliners were having a hard time with the amount of ice they were building up. Well, so this guy was on a trip to somewhere like Arkansas, and he's climbing out, and he's building up ice like crazy. And he keeps asking ATC, can I have higher, to get out of that? And he kept saying, just hang on a minute, we'll have higher for you in a little bit. We'll have higher for you in a little bit. Well, he was polite about it, and he didn't declare an emergency, and he had so much ice built up on his airplane, he finally just rolled over and went in. And everybody died. And that was, that's the only accident of a TBM that I know of. It's probably not the only one in existence, but this does not mean that TBMs are accident prone. In fact, the opposite. They're extremely popular. And they're just aerodynamically really awesome. Look at this thing. I'm getting 293 knots ground speed. And the wind's not even on my butt. It's off to the side. I'm burning 47 an hour, 46 an hour. I got 4 people in the back. And some suitcases and tents and camping stuff. So we're going down into deep South America, so there's likely we'll be in the wilderness. We get down toward Patagonia. So this airplane is an awesome performer. Okay, fuel imbalance. We need to rebalance the imbalance. Let's make sure that means we want to be taking from the away tank. We're taking from the 2 tanks, so we will get tank flipper. And now we should be taking in, we are from the away tank, which is the fullest tank. So we can cancel the alert. And eventually the little fuel imbalance warning there will go away. Okay. So anyway, that was the story of, and that was, in the early 00s that happened. But that got me, I read about that accident, and I didn't know a TBM from a hamburger at that point. And so I got to look at it, and it's just such a pretty airplane. There's no sweep back to the wings, there's no rocketry kind of stuff. It looks like a dumb old airplane. But man, can it fly. I'm at 28,000 feet. It'll go to 31. They say 31 is the service ceiling. But I've had it up there, and it's not as efficient. I'm not getting the same kind of ground speed, and I'm not getting the same kind of fuel burn. And I think a real-world pilot would scoff at that and say, well, you're full of shit, because they should do that up there. I'm sure Steve-O Knievo loves to have his, 851 Tango Bravo. You need a special certification to go that high with these things. But he's got it, and he loves to fly up that high. And I'm sure he gets a better fuel burn, he gets a better ground speed. I do not in Flight Simulator. I'm a little bit better off down right about where I am. Greg Mink, the Premier driver, same thing. He's flying his Premier at 41,000 feet. I've had my Premier that high too, and I'm not sure it's not better, but it's not outstandingly better. The Premier does really well in the mid-30s, I think. The only thing about getting over 40 is the wind tends to die down better over 40,000. So if it's in your face, it's not fighting you as much. So now we're down to 276 now. What's the wind do? The wind's at 225. It's a little more in our face. Oh, in fact, it's right in our face. At what? At 29 knots. I'm surprised we're only getting 275 knots. The wind is, it's 30 knot wind right in the face right now. We're showing an airspeed of 189 knots. Oh, I just love the surfing. Of course, as you've heard me say ad nauseum, I just love them all. If I didn't love them, I wouldn't have them. Okay, an hour and 58 minutes. That would be a half hour at 4x. So that'll be 15 minutes here. We'll get a little closer. We're 542 miles away, it looks like. You see that right here. See, it's showing 539, 537. That says DIS. Get a little closer so you can see it a little better. That's your distance away. This Garmin 1000, the more I get used to it, the more I like it. I've got to admit, initially I didn't like all this high-tech crap. I was just used to a good old conventional steam gauge panel, which I'm still fine with. You know, Steve Okanivo in his TBM, he's got steam gauges, and he said in one of his videos that he prefers that, and I can understand why. I'm not sure that I prefer this, but I'm all right with it. You know, it shows you that there's your distance away. Here's your HSI, of course. There's your airspeed. There's your altitude. And you go over here, and they're all right in front of you. You know, there's your ground speed, 278 knots. There's your ETA, 148, an hour and 48 minutes. I mean, that's most of the information I want. There's my moving map right there. Now, I will say that Carinado, I don't know if it's Carinado's fault or if it's Flight Sim's fault or whose fault that is, but the resolution, you know, one guy said on one of the forums, you know, well, you're looking at a video of a video. It's like second generation, so no, the resolution is not going to be as sharp. Probably true. But it's all right. You know, it's not a bother at all. So I've gotten used to the Garmin 1000. When they first came out, when I first saw them, when I first got FSX, you know, and that's years ago now, I thought, this thing is stupid. It took me a couple of years to figure out how to use it. But that's probably because I'm not that smart. Okay. We want to be taking from the to side. We're taking from the away side. So let's flip. Flip-a-dippa. Now we're taking from the to side so we can cancel the alert. And let's go down to 4x. Okay. So we've got an hour and 30 of real time. That is 15, so about 22 minutes. An hour 30 of simulator time. That works out to about 22 minutes of real you and me sitting here enduring this time. Let's see, where in the world are we? Whoops. See, Brazil goes down, it goes around the corner, and it goes almost south, then it cuts back in. It's almost, the coast is almost east-west then, not quite, but almost. That's where Rio is, so that when you go out of Rio Harbor, you're pointing in very southerly direction. Not completely, but it cuts in quite a bit. I've been thinking about incorporating music into these videos. You know, now would be a time, can't think of anything else to say, so there would be a dead time. So would you guys like to hear some music right then? Would it make you more likely to stay and keep watching stupid video? I don't think so, but who knows? I'll probably think of something to say sooner or later. Like, we're 409 miles out, 408, 407. And we are burning 46 an hour. That's about what Steve-O gets, I think. We're getting 284 knots. The wind is now 192 at 24. Well, that came around quite a bit. Oh, now it's coming over the left front. And it's not blowing as hard. So it's not as much in our face. It's not blowing as hard, so we're getting a little better ground speed now. Back up to 285 knots. I had a mouse joystick issue on the trip down from Belém to Natal. It wasn't really a mouse joystick, it was I had decided that I wanted to change the keystroke which turns my autopilot on and off. I had it assigned to the Z key. And what continually was happening with my uncoordinated hands, I was accidentally striking it and kicking the airplane, you know, whatever airplane, out of autopilot, and it would flip over on its back, you know, especially at 8X or 16X, and just go right in. This has got to stop. So what I have done is I reassigned it, and this was a couple of days ago, in the middle of the freaking flight, I decided to reassign the key to the apostrophe. And well, that was fine, but the computer doesn't work like that. It doesn't just absorb these rather major changes, you know, that easily. Oh, okay, fine, Trace. You want it to be the apostrophe? Fine, we'll have the apostrophe. So it was sorted the apostrophe, but then I looked down in the options, settings, controls area, and here I've got two entries for autopilot master on off. One for the apostrophe and one for the Z. It got confused. So, I mean, I've never seen that before. So then I accidentally brushed the Z key. Sure enough, the airplane flipped right over. It was 88X. Went right in. Of course, I have my simulator set to ignore crash. I mean, you know when you crash, but at least you don't lose the flight. And you don't have to reset the whole thing and everything else. So I limped through it. I continued the flight. But as I'm coming into Natal, you guys know I use the mouse yoke, which I activate by hitting the X key. Well, I hit the X key on short final as usual, and here the damn thing wouldn't work. It was just like it was locked up. And so, you know, I had a terrible crash landing 2 miles from the airport. Flightline will acknowledge you at the closest airport when that happens. So it showed me making it to Natal anyway, and that was all fine. And so I thought, what the hell am I going to do with this? And what I ended up doing was I had Marianne come, my wife, and just wiggle the joystick. And I'm watching the control yoke on the screen as she's wiggling the joystick, and that freed it up. And then it was fine. So I figured, okay, Trace, it's time to make the transfer away from the joystick because you're having too much of a hard time getting your fingers on it anyway. So last night I had her disconnected. And with heart in mouth, I tried taxiing around a little bit just with the mouse joystick. Works fine. And that's how I'm doing this flight, and it seems to be going quite well. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But, geez, that was weird. So it looks like I have now made the complete switch to accept my crippled fate and my not very well working right hand getting on the joystick, and I've gotten pretty good with the mouse yoke. If you've seen any of my recent videos, I haven't had a really stupid landing, except the one that I just described, which happened for a different reason. Other than that, my landings have been pretty good. And now that I put that foot in my mouth, you all are going to get to witness this landing and see how it comes out. So, okay, we're 320 miles out. What a pretty airplane. What a rocket. I just love it. Not to, I mean, this is a Carinado airplane, and other than the fact that you have to have either voice attack or you have to have fingers which can use the mouse scroll wheel okay, and I guess most normal people can. Carinado have become very committed to things which involve using the mouse scroll wheel. Wilco also has a TBM 850. And I guess it's all right. I really don't know. I've seen the videos. I don't know. It looks exactly like this one. And I'm not sure if it's better or not as good or whatever. And I'm not pimping either one. You know, I have the Carinado. I have learned how to overcome the things that were causing me problems with it. And I'm all right with that. But there is an alternative of unknown quality. After 2 years of enduring the Wilco Falcon 7X, I gotta tell you, I'm not a gigantic fan of Wilco. But, on that matter, I'm not a gigantic fan of any of them. I don't own any PMDGs. And, in the flight sim world, on the forums and stuff, PMDG is completely the Rolls Royce of flight sim airplanes. It's the Cadillac. They're the best, they're the most complicated, and they're the most expensive. The other maker that I think is universally respected is A2A with their Comanche 250. I was seriously considered getting it, but I have the Mooney. I mean, that category I've got covered pretty much, but I'm sure the Comanche 250 would be a much cooler airplane than the Mooney. It's just much more realistic. It's got a lot more detail to it. But I do not require that level of perfection. I'm just getting used to the payware that I've got. I was a very late arriver in the payware world. I've been flight simming since the 90s, and it's only a couple of years ago that I bought my first payware airplane, and that was the BAE 146 Avro 300, which was on a Christmas special for $8.95. So I got it, and when I first got it, I thought it was a piece of shit. It took me a while to rearrange my brain on it a little bit and realize, no, I just need to rethink the way I fly. I now fly it a lot. It's flown down here for the winter festivities too. It's sitting in Bel Am, and I'll be flying it again pretty soon. It's a good airplane, actually. Fuel and balance. God, balance my fuel, honey. Okay, we need to be from the away tank. We're taking from the to tank. So, let's flip tanks. Tank flipped. We should be on the away tank. We are. Cancel the alert. We're 246 miles away. Now we're getting 294 knots. And the wind is out of 137 at 21 knots. 137. Now that's coming off it's coming off the coast. It's coming off of the left side. How close to the coast are we? Let us have a look. Oh, we're pretty close. See, there's our little airplane. It's going this way. So if you look off our left side would be the ocean. Wonder if we can see it. Maybe. It's at least 50 or 75 miles away. Probably not. Now look at 310. What did the wind do? It went to 189 and 21. 189. Well, hell. No, not 180. 117. 117. So it's actually slightly behind us. That as soon as it flips over that axis from slightly in front of you to slightly behind you, there's a gigantic difference in your net ground speed that'll pick up, and there you see it right there. Now we're getting 312 knots. Our airspeed is now 191. I do not know why. Theoretically, your airspeed shouldn't change. If you're remaining at the same power settings, and I haven't adjusted them for quite a while. Okay, we're 40 minutes out at 4x. $206 miles. I'll wait till we're about 150 miles out, and then I'll go to 2x. Whoops. There we go. I'm not in South America nearly as much in recent months as during my heavy FS economy period. All of my FBOs were down here. I was in South America all the time. I flew all over Brazil, mostly Brazil, a little bit Argentina, Uruguay, Chile. I had a couple of FBOs over in Chile too. But now that I'm pretty much almost completely out of FSE, I'm all over the world. I'm flying just everywhere. But I'm flying in South America some. As you can see, I'm flying in South America right now. Airspeed is up to 191 knots. Ground speed is remaining the same, about 313. We're 32 minutes away. I'm going down to 2x. Where are we? 160 miles. 9 miles out. Yeah. Okay, down to 2x. Okay, we're at 28,000 feet and we're 30 minutes out. Almost time to start descending. When we're 28 minutes out, I can initiate a descent at theoretically 1,000 feet a minute, and that would get me down pretty much on time. The truth is, when you're really up high, you want to descend more slowly than that because of the thinner air. Okay, let's get ready to do that. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. See, I'm just setting my target altitude now. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. Okay, 6,500, that'll do. See, the ETE is still showing 29.5 minutes. So we'll just wait a few seconds. gotta get used to the fact that I'm down to 2x and things are going as fast. All right. Okay, I clicked it 6 times. Let's see what kind of a VSI result that produces. 550 feet a minute. 600 feet a minute. Well, that'll be 100 foot a minute per click then. I was thinking it was different. All right, I'm clicking 2 more times because I want 800 feet a minute here. Like I said, theoretically 1,000 feet a minute, but until we start getting down lower, it's not 1 for 1. From 15,000, say 15,000 feet down, you know, if I want 1,000 feet a minute, reality, I'll set it for 1,000. Now I'm showing 800 feet. So 27,024 minutes out. Shit. Let's increase that a little bit. I'm increasing it to 1,000 feet a minute, I think. Yep. I'm increasing it more. I don't like being late getting to an altitude when you're approaching an airport, because then when you get close in, you got to really hustle to get down there, and then you're screwing everything else up. You know, I'd much rather be at the altitude waiting for 20 miles than the other way around. Now see where my little airplane is? See how far it just wanders off the course line? I think this is a Coronado thing. They just aren't that precise with maintaining. You know, if this was the default Mooney or the default King Air, that airplane would be right spanking on the line. It's not just the TBM, it's all Coronados. I've said this before. They're just not that good at it. I've learned how to overcome it. It ain't a big deal, but it's just noticeable. See, there's where the coast starts cutting back in. That might be Rio right there where my pointer is. Where am I? Red cross, there we are. My much better eyesight. Zoom in a little closer. Yeah, I'll bet that's Rio down there. See, no, it doesn't cut in. It doesn't cut in 90 degrees. It cuts in a little bit. So when you leave the harbor, no, you're not going dead south. You're going southeast. So as usual with everything, I'm always saying I'm never completely right. I'm always a little bit right. I'm usually not completely right. In fact, I'm probably always not completely right. Does that make sense to everybody? Sure. Okay, 17. Oh, now look at this. 17 minutes away. We're 20,000. We're still at 20,000. So let's increase the drop a little bit more. And let's power down a little. Jesus, our airspeed is 235. Well, it's dropping down. That's more than I wanted. And we're showing a ground speed of 315. That's coming down too. mean, we're close in now. We're within 100 miles. We don't want all this stuff being insane like this. Okay, I usually wait till I'm within 100 miles of a destination before getting the weather, because the weather I get, the FSX Real Weather Life, I think it's true of all weathers, but the reporting gets a lot more accurate as you get closer. You know, if you're looking for the weather at an airport 500 miles away, it'll tell you something, but the something it tells you is probably bullshit. So anyway, we are within 100 miles now, so let's see what it says. Oops. Yeah, it's a little hilly around here. I'm not sure I want to be below 5,000. Okay. Centus Dumont. See, there's Galileo, whatever. What is it called? Galileo Antonio. Jeez. Galileo, whatever. That's the big airport. That's up inside the harbor ways. Here's Santos Dumont. It's right downtown. And Rio is a beautiful city. I've heard that it's a gorgeous city, and the slums right nearby are like worse than anything you'd see in Mumbai, but there you are. Okay, wind 174 at 7, gusting at 12. Visibility, oh, good viz. So winds out of the south, which is typical, off the ocean. See, it's got 2 parallel runways, 220. All right. And that's 0 dark 30 on the field elevation. Okay. So we want 20. And 0 dark 30, but we don't particularly want to go. Altitude's at 6,300 now. I'm going to leave it there because there are some mountainy kind of things as you get in close. There they are. Where am I at now? 14. Well, I don't want to be too high and have to dive like a dive bomber when I get to the harbor. So we'll just leave it like it is. While watching closely. That's, you know, the one thing you want to keep in mind. You can plan everything else to the max, but you really need to watch. See how's your plan working out. Constantly be reassessing, and don't accept it at face value for a second. Because no matter how good you think you are, you're not perfect. When I say you, I'm talking about me. But you're probably the same. I think we're going to level out a little higher than. Scroll up 20. Level out at 8,300. The Rio Harbor is kind of, I mean, it's not really dangerous or anything, but you got to watch because there's a lot of big hills around it. Okay, leveling off, catch the altitude, catch it, catch it, catch it. Come on, honey. 84. That altitude light up. There it goes. Okay. So we're leveled off at 8,300. And now we're leaving the power setting the same. The airspeed and the ground speed will drop a little bit. And that's fine. We're 17 minutes out. How close are we? 81, 61 miles out. Okay. We'll go down to 1x normal in a minute. I could just sit here like a zombie with my jaw hanging open, staring at this airplane all day. If I need to go to the bathroom or something, but, it's just really pretty stuff. I really like it. Okay, now see here, the land is kind of rushing up. I can't imagine anything is this high, though. This is always the thing you get into is you watch a high landform approaching. Am I high enough? You just got to keep an eye on it. And if you're in IMC conditions, see, I do this. Get level with the underbelly. And does that eyeball above the landform? Yes. That means you're probably alright. That's not a very accurate way of doing it, but if you're IMC, you don't want to screw around. If I was IMC, I'd be at 10,000 plus right now, just to make absolutely sure. But I've got the added benefit that I can sort of see the stuff coming at me. I think I'm going to get over that. Okay, so we'll be landing on runway 20, one of them. And that's right about where my heading bug is. So when we get over these mountains, we'll make a turn to the right and angle until this little pink pointer is on 20, and then we'll lock it on, go back to nav, and that'll take us right to the runway. And at 46 miles out, I think it's time to go to 1X. I've taken to doing all these slowdown things sooner than I used to. It used to be standard. I would do it at 37 miles out. Now I'm doing it more like in the 40s, like maybe 50. It's the Wilco Falcon 7X that did that to me. Because everything happens faster in it, and you've got to do everything sooner. And along with that, I just developed a taste for flying slow. The only reason to accelerate your sim is if you've got like a 20,000 mile flight and you don't feel like sitting there with your head up your butt for hours and hours on end. Which is something I've tried to explain to the FSC purists who like to fly their Piper Cubs in the Pacific Northwest, and a long trip for them is 75 miles. Well, yeah, they're going to do it at normal. I don't blame them. I do too when I'm doing that. But when you're going 5,000 miles, when you're flying to China, I don't have all week to do that. So, yeah, I'm going to go to 16. I'm going to get to altitude at normal or at 2x. And I'm going to jump into 16x for a while the airplane's just zooming along. Everything should be nominal and stay the same. Okay, see here I'm getting over the higher terrain. Once I get to about here, then I'm going to not worry about it so much. All right, let's get a little tighter. Scroll down. Tighter view. Okay, our airspeed's at 140. Now see, our airspeed and our ground speed are coming together. Okay, well, I'm putting on 51% power. Let's go up to 60. Probably in a little, but not that much. And go out of 850 mode while we're doing all this stuff. bit early, but I would forget otherwise. I'm going to turn the inertial separator on. The inertial separator separates if you're like close to the ground or in a place where you might be picking up chunks of ice or chunks of dirt or stones or rocks, anything that's likely to get into the tines, the blades of the turbine of the engine and damage it. The inertial separator separates that stuff away to make sure that all that's going into that engine is air. Once you get up to altitude, you can flip it back off and you will get a little bit better performance. The engine will cool down. And in Flight Simulator, it's just frou-frou. You know, there's no real Flight Simulator consequence. And I'm kind of like, hey, if there's not a Flight Simulator consequence, why am I doing it? Well, in this case, just, you know, I don't know, I just am. Real world pilots do it religiously. I mean, they have to do it. Okay, scroll down 10. Scroll down 10. That scared me. Ever since I've had the problems with the Premiere, with voice attack. It's only been the Premiere that I've had this with. 31 miles out. Let's get down. Scroll down 20. Scroll down 10. Scroll down 10. Okay, 43, that'll do. You know, with a classic legacy Flight Simulator airplane, you would set the altitude down to something, whatever, like I just did, to 4,300, and the airplane would start descending. Not this thing, because it's set at altitude. I went down to 4,300 is the target altitude, but if you want it to actually start descending, you have to go over to VS mode and click some down angle on it. And then when it gets to the target altitude, it'll stop, hopefully. This airplane's pretty good. The Wilco Falcon 7X, not so much. Okay, we're 26 miles out. Let's call it power. Santos Dumont.
Tower, November 8500, November is 26 miles northeast with Victor to land. November 850, Sierra,
scroll
November,
up 45.
Tower, fly straight in, runway 20 right, altimeter 298. Fly straight in, runway 20 right, 00, November.
Scroll up 45. Scroll up 20. Okay, heading mode. We're descending. Yeah, but not that great. Let's increase the drop a little bit. Slow down. Now I want to get to where my heading is more or less perpendicular to the runway without crashing into any hillsides, of course. Okay, so I'll keep updating course line, and when it's on 20, I'm going back to nav mode. getting closer. I'm also going very fast. Okay, to slow down, what am I down to now? 41% power. That's fine, that'll slow me down until I get to altitude. But when I get to altitude, I gotta remember to put it back in, because otherwise I'll stall, because in level flight, that's not fast enough. It's trying to tell me something right there. Okay, let's be on the fullest tank. We are. Okay. Airspeed 185, that'll do for now. See, this is where this airplane gets to be a handful. It's a high-spirited filly. Reset. 2-1, a little bit more. We're 19.3 miles out. All right. So for terrain. Scroll down 20. Let's turn away from these hills a little bit. We still have enough distance to where 7. Scroll down 10. 3, good. Good. I like it. Okay, let's do another one. Ooh, almost just slightly more. That'll probably do. Close enough. Now I'm watching the airspeed. It's dropping slowly. That's all right for now. We're turning on course 17 miles out. Let's kick a notch of flaps. And let's grab the gear. Now we want to watch. First, are we lining up? Yeah, looking good. What are we slowing down to? 129. Let's put a little more power back in. We want 50% power. 49. Oh, that'll do. Okay, and what runway did they tell us? 20 right. All right. We're lining up pretty nicely. Heading toward the course line. It'll come back a little bit. When it gets lined up at 10 miles out, we're at 15 right now. 15.7. At a distance of 10 miles out, 105, 104, a little more power. We'll commence descending at 800 feet a minute. See, but that's why I say this airplane's a handful. You gotta be watching everything. When it's just flying along, it's great, and it performs like a rocket. But when you're setting up a landing, you gotta be watching your altitude, you gotta be making sure you're lining up, you gotta be looking for terrain. And when you're in instrument conditions setting up an ILS approach, it's even tougher. 107, I'm showing 116 knots of ground speed. Not that that really matters now this low. So we'll look outside. Gears down. Flaps are position 1. Looking good. There is Rio Harbor. Have a circle down. Here's the harbor entrance. And there's the airport ahead of us. Where is it here? No, it's, see the building? It's right along there. Keep an eye on that airspeed. 117, that'll do. I don't want to be going too much faster. 12 miles out now. Coming around on the course line. I just touched the F2 key to back the power off a little bit. You can't hear it. I can't either. I'm doing it again. So you can hear that just slightly. And that's really all I want. If the airspeed will just stay the same, that's down to 120, 11 miles out. Six, 10.5. Okay, let's get the altitude, target altitude. Scroll down 20. Scroll down 5. So the target altitude is now 800 feet. Okay, we're below 10 miles out. VS. Setting up 700 feet a minute. Let's see what that looks like. U.S. Lee Airport. Now we're showing 127, 128. Of course, since we're descending. Backing it off a pad.
0 Sierra November, cleared to land.
Okay, there's
Runway
the airport.
20 right.
See where my pointer is? There it is, right there.
Cleared to land. Runway
Now
20 right. 0 Sierra November.
138. Got just a tiny bit. See, there's downtown Rio, of course. There is the Monte de Cristo, whatever thing is, with the big statue on it. I don't know if Flight Sim has the statue. I think it does. And on beyond that, around there is Ipanema Beach. Rio is a famous city. My father lived here in the 30s, long before I was born, when he was working for the New York, Rio, and Brazil Airway. My father was kind of a pioneer, sort of aviation. He worked for a company that did mail routes. He was not, I mean, there are no books written about him. There was a book written about Nirba, the airline he worked for, and he is mentioned in it once or twice, but it's pretty low level. But we do have a little bit of an aviation history, I guess. He wasn't a pilot. I was a pilot, but I wasn't a professional pilot. I was just a gummy old private pilot, and I had to quit because I lost my medical. And pretty soon you guys are going to get sick of hearing that story, because if you watch these videos, I probably told it about 10 times, so I'm not going to bother you with it now. If you're really interested, go back to the earlier videos and send me some messages or something to inquire. I can't imagine anybody would really care. It's old news. Okay, I think it's time to kill the autopilot, which I've got to remember to do. Whoops, first go to mouse yoke. Alright, and now kill the autopilot. There you go. By hitting the apostrophe key, not the Z key. Okay, now we're going to fly this puppy in. Let's get down where I can see the airspeed. 128 will do. Remember, I told you guys you can judge how I'm doing with the mouse yoke by this landing. And I'll stand by that. 148's a little hot. Slow her down. Line up a little better. Maybe we should think about full flaps. Yeah, I know. Let's go to full flaps. Flaps full. Whoa. Lose it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Flight idle. Okay, that's looking better. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get it back. Get it back. Get it back. Whoa, whoa, you lost it. Oh, man. Why did I do that? I lost it. I lost it. Boy. Well, now you know. Not as good as I thought.
0 Sierra November. Contact ground on 121.7.
You know, I was coming in at 148 knots. I thought that was way too fast. Maybe it wasn't. Because if I just left it there, it probably would have. That's what happened. It went all over the place. Because it was too slow. All right. All right. I was too slow. That's why I'm going to play the video and make sure that I'll replay. It's a wonderful thing about these videos. I'll go back and replay it, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. I was too slow. I probably shouldn't have gone to full flaps. Yeah, I got a little bit to learn here. Well, it wasn't a complete disaster. I've certainly had better landings than that. Oh well. The flight was fun. I hope you guys had fun. For all this money you're paying me, I hope you somehow get your money's worth out of it. All right, where the hell are we? I can't remember. Where do I want to go? Oh, okay, that way. That's right. It's been a while since I've been in here. Whoops. Oh, that's kind of a disappointment. That was stupid. I should have been a little more careful. Let's go in here. There's a nice parking area back in here, right by the big, tall, pretty buildings. Downtown Rio is a beautiful, beautiful place. And I've heard that right back there up on the hills are some neighborhoods that, as I say, make the barrios of Mumbai and Tijuana look good. Okay. Here we are. Bounce yoke off. Regular yoke go away. Parking brake on. And there's the little white box. Okay. Flightline has acknowledged us at Santos Dumont. So let's shut down. Get the hell out of here. Prop all the way forward. Fuel cut off. Passenger door. It used to be I could hit D. I have the door assigned to the D key, and if you're opening two doors, like this, the front and the back, you would typically hit D2. But it doesn't work on this airplane. I've got to do what you just saw. I don't know why. And initially it did, and then it stopped working. Why? I do not know. Okay. Lights. And battery. And all should be dark. All is dark. Okay, well, I'd love to say great flight, but it was a great flight. It was not a very good landing. But I was thinking more like coming in around 105 knots, and I think you need to be more like 130 knots when you come over the numbers. And so at 148 knots, I was looking. I thought, oh my God, I got to slow down. And the truth was, oh your God, no, you don't need to slow down, especially not if you got full flaps in, which I did. I probably should have left the flaps in the first position, which more often than not, I have this tendency to want to go to full flaps, and in big airplanes, I want to go to spoilers a lot. That's frequently not true. Of course, then you tell yourself, and then comes that landing where something goes wrong and you end up going through the fence because you didn't put enough braking on. So you have to figure it right every time. That's what being a good pilot is. And am I a good pilot? I'm an okay pilot. I'm a very experienced pilot. I'm probably a very stupid pilot that's been doing it for a very long time. I don't know. But anyway, it was great being with you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're still here, I guess you could at least stand it. Until next time, I'm not sure what we're going to do next time, but we'll do something. And you will be invited. So thanks a lot for coming along, and we'll catch you later.